Hey guys, we're back with the next episode of our Sryth Fantasy Text-Based RPG. Last time, we were in a fight battle with a werewolf. um, it was what was it? What's the name of the werewolf? Red Wolf or Sagehold. I guess it's a multiplayer thing, but I did it by myself because um, BA like that. It was a longer episode. I meant to upload it on Friday, but I guess I just forgot about it. That's why I try to do it right away once I record the videos, but I guess for some reason last week was crazy and I just didn't get to it. Probably because I didn't do it all on Sunday, which I'm trying to do this Sunday. I record most of my videos for this on Sunday, so that episode's gonna come out Monday now since I missed Friday. And then we're gonna get some more going here. This is coming out Wednesday, and we'll have another one for Friday. Hopefully, we're gonna do right now as well. So, thanks so much for hanging out and joining me. Let's find some more adventures to have here as Allison. I don't know where we're gonna have more adventures. We were in Central Tisa. Central Tisa. Bertolini's. Different crags. I think we should go southern. Let's see what's going on in Thaneville. Winter Eye Lake. Let's see it. What's going on? An unexpected encounter. While traveling through Thaneville, destined for Winter Eye Lake, you encounter a band of rugged highwaymen. With growing apprehension, you watch as a band of 4 highwaymen ride into your path in what is an obvious attempt to waylay you. The leader of the rugged group moves to the front of the company and regards you with a solemn nod. He promptly orders you to pay him tribute in the amount of 75 gold so that you may be afforded safe passage to the region. Nah. I'm not giving you money. You would do well to pay us what we're owed, friend, said the scowling brigand as he slowly shakes his head. Nah. Your second refusal elicits a hail of curses from the leader of highwaymen. He orders his men to dispatch you. Without delay, the mounted robbers move in to attack. With the bandit leader watching from a safe distance, you bravely engage the first of the attacking highwaymen. Dead. You quickly prepare to engage the next. Dead. You quickly engage the last. What? Oh, dead. So, the mounted highwayman slumps forward and then topples from the saddle, landing in a bloody heap at the foot of his horse. Only the leader of the rugged band of brigands remained. You turn to confront the leader of bandits, only to discover the cowardly brigand has taken flight. As the fleeing brigand disappears from view, you conclude that you had to begin to let him go. Despite his escape, you take comfort in knowing that this particular band of thieves will no longer plague this region. Yeah, well, shouldn't have been tripping. I mean, we'll sell it. You don't have 7 gold. Who are you getting money from? With no sign of any more highwaymen in your immediate vicinity, you spend a few minutes checking over your equipment before once again resuming your journey. Here we are. Winter Eye Lake is a small body of water hidden deep within the thick forest just inside the eastern edge of Thaneville. Standing in its stony shore, you gaze out across the water of the lake to a fair-top island near its middle, at least 2 miles away. You're familiar with the legend of Winter Eye Lake and know that the island is supposedly home to a fearsome serpent. A small village sits on the eastern edge of the lake and is home to fishermen and woodcutters who make their living in this rugged but beautiful country. Yeah, can I get a ride to the lake? A fisherman offers to lend you a small rowboat and a cost of 50 gold. You want me to row 2 miles? There's no way of telling if you'll be back. He says, "Eye you carefully. If you don't, we'll come back. I'll need to buy another boat. 50 gold is reasonable enough, I'd say." Yeah, right. Let's do it. Sure. You pay the fisherman and he shows you a small craft at the edge of the icy lake. It's a long way to the island, he warns you as you climb aboard the old but steady boat. Mind yourself in the water and don't fall in. It only takes a few seconds for icy claws of the lake to tear into you. He wishes you luck as you push away from the shore and begin the long, arduous process of rowing yourself to the island. You're still a long way from the island. Oh, it's going to be one of those. Facing the shore, your hands tightly grip the pairing of oars. You make a steady progress toward the island that rises up in the middle of the Winter Eye Lake. Suddenly, something large and unseen swirls swiftly beneath your boat, knocking slightly against the timbers upon which you sit. In the wake of an unsettling incident, much to your horror, you find a small craft being pulled down into the jaws of a swirling whirlpool. A desperate struggle to free your craft from the deadly grip of the turbulent, frigid water. After a lengthy struggle, you manage to free the small boat from the grip of the whirlpool. You spend a few moments catching your breath before once again resuming your voyage. Wow. Still a long ways away. Let's keep going. The black placid surface of the lake suddenly explodes all around your boat, showering you with icy water, as the head and neck of a black scaled serpent rises out of the shadowy depths. The serpent hisses loudly as it rears back its head in preparation for a strike, and while this creature is not the silver-scaled serpent of legend, is most certainly a dangerous and aggressive foe. With no hope of fleeing, you quickly prepare to engage the fearsome creature. Dead. The serpent emits a final ragged hiss and sinks swiftly beneath the dark mirror-like surface of the lake. After taking a few moments to collect yourself, you're once again ready to continue. It's been a long day. Suddenly, something large and unseen swirls swiftly beneath your boat, knocking slightly against the timbers upon which you sit. In the wake of the unsettling incident, much to your horror, you find your small craft being pulled down into the jaw. Okay, another whirlpool. Got you, my friend. Still up, but we're closer. Alright, this is a similar encounter, so I'm not going to reread it. Let's keep going. But I'm closer. Yay. Still making steady progress. You make steady progress across the placid surface of the frigid lake. Now and again you catch sudden glimpses of what you believe is something large passing by far beneath your boat in the dark, icy depths. I'm getting close to the island. I'm getting closer. Suddenly something large and unseen swirls swiftly beneath your boat, knocking slightly against the timbers upon which you sit. In the wake of an unsettling incident, much to your horror, you find the small craft being pulled down in the jaws of a swirling whirlpool. I mean, will I die if I don't get out of the dips? I'm getting closer to the island. Another serpent. That's fine. Keep going. I'm getting closer to the island. Another whirlpool. Alright. So pretty much above 60 is enough for me to not have issues. Oh, above 50. Oh, below 50. Okay. At long last, your arms and backs aching, you reach the sizable island at the center of Winter Isle Lake. After making certain the boat is safely on shore, you set out to begin your exploration of the island. Not far from where you came ashore, you discover a vine-entangled mouth of a large cave. A strong odor wafts out of the cave. It's an unmistakable reptilian smell. You're certain that you're standing in the threshold of a lair of a fabled servant of Winter Isle Lake. Yep, let's go. You're less than 10 yards from the mouth of the cave when a loud hiss sails in the darkness, followed swiftly by the massive head of a silver-scaled serpent. You watch with mounting horror as a fearsome serpent nearly 40 feet in length slithers out of the cave and rears up to assume its full terrifying height. The serpent's cold and blinking eyes peer down at you from the lofty perch as its thick forked tongue flicks in and out between its massive closed jaws. You sense that this horrid creature is preparing to strike. Now, I'm noble. You see my alignment. Rank number 76. Is it cruel for me to come to this snake's home and fight him? You know, what's he got in there? Does he have something worthwhile in there for me that I want to have? I guess we'll see, because we don't back down from a fight now, do we? With a towering silver-scaled serpent about to strike you hastily, weigh your tactical options. I'm gonna go with gating, I think. You step into the swirling black vortex that opens at your left and emerge moments later from a second gate behind the unsuspecting and bewildered serpent. Leaping forward, you lay a devastating blow upon the fearsome creature. Wounded, you bravely engage the massive silver-scaled serpent. And now he's dead. The massive silver-scaled serpent collapses to the ground at your feet, forcing you to nimbly dodge its falling head so that you're not crushed beneath its enormous bulk. With the fearsome legendary serpent now gone forever, you boldly enter the cave, step into a broad stone chamber with no human eyes that seem to last 1,000 years. Tablet fragment. Holding aloft your light source, you make a thorough examination of the cave. In the middle of the wide chamber, you discover a stone pedestal atop which sits a wooden box. The box is plain and badly decayed. It nearly crumbles at your touch. You brush away the rotting wood and find a fragment of a stone tablet. The tablet fragment bears several strange markings which you cannot decipher. The letters "me" are plainly visible across the top. It appears to be the leftmost portion of a larger tablet. You study the curious object for several minutes before placing it safely amongst your belongings. This is what appears to be the leftmost fragment of a stone tablet. Okay, you probably exit the cave. Congratulations, Alison. Your victory over the fearsome serpent that long made this island its home has put the rest of terrifying legend and removed the dark shadow from the frigid waters of Water Lake. You board the small boat and begin the lengthy and arduous task of rowing yourself back to the shore. The trip back proves uneventful, thankfully so, and when you return the boat to the fisherman, you are surprised when he hands you the 50 gold you had given him. You've opened up the whole lake to us, he says, smiling. Can't truly thank you enough for that. I expect you'll have fame enough in these parts for a while. Oh. Bid him farewell and set off on your way. Winter Lake is a small body of water. Okay. Your victory over the serpent has made you quite famous in the region, immediately surrounding the lake, and you're greeted warmly by everyone you encounter in the small nearby village. That's nice. Okay. Yeah, that's what's going on at Thainville. Oh, that's what we're at. Oh, there's a tavern. Let's go in the tavern. Tucked into the broad forested hollow snug against the western edge of the Winter Lake, the Lakeshore Tavern, owned and operated by the famous adventurer Silavina, boasts a well-earned reputation as a favourite haunt among adventurers. The clean, welcoming establishment is housed in an imposing structure of rough-hewn timber and fitted stone blocks. Its steeply angled roof, nearly even with the tops of the surrounding hardwood giants. A large window set into the tavern's eastern side, directly above its front door, overlooks a well-tended garden that sprawls out to meet the sandy shore of the Great Lake. Towering monument to Silavina stands in the forest clearing not far from the northeast. Visit the monument. You move along a wide, well-trodden path that runs between a thick swath of forest separating the Lakeshore Tavern from a large stony clearing. The clearing is the site of a towering monument honouring Silavina, the illustrious adventurer and owner of the Lakeshore Tavern. From here, you can just make out the very top of the monument, far above the tops of the distant trees. Make your way to the clearing. At the far end of the broad, stony clearing, casting a long shadow over the uneven ground, stands a towering monument honouring the great adventurer Silavina, a massive statue whose upper reaches attain a truly awe-inspiring height. Rows of colourful flowers, including several rare varieties of rose, surround the ornate stone base atop which the giant sculpture is perched. Standing at the base of the monument, you gaze up at the near-perfect sculpted likeness of one of the age's legendary adventurers, marvelling at the master craftsmanship employed to create such a magnificent, imposing landmark. Silavina, her long flowing hair intertwined with the folds of a lengthy robe which reaches her boot-clad feet, stares at the sky with a somewhat vacant expression. A plethora of ingrained stars of various sizes, each bordered by a band of silver metal, adorns her robe. The master adventurer's right hand clutches a thick, closed tomb, and her left hand grasps the hilt of a longsword. It is a fearsome blade etched with the arcane runes. A sense of awe washes over you as you behold the monument, recalling the many heroic deeds of which Silavina earned her fame. Examine the inscription. The inscription, carved along the bottom edge of one of the massive stone blocks supporting the towering statue, seems to refer to a award awaiting anyone to scale 150-foot monument. Glancing up at the dizzying heights which the statue soars, you begin to consider the very notion of such a climb to border on madness. Let's climb. Climbing the square base of the monument proves relatively simple, and after a couple of minutes, you stand at the foot of the towering statue. Staring up, where you carefully contemplate a perilous endeavour you are about to undertake. The dangerous ascent would just be over 150 feet. Climb, single-minded of purpose, you cast aside a small handful of nagging doubts and begin the daunting climb up the towering statue. Only 50 feet in the climb, you already begin to feel fatigued. The statue's smooth surface only offers scattered foothold and handholds, making every movement a struggle. Struggling to maintain your grip on the statue's smooth, angular surface, you claw your way higher, resisting the nagging urge to look down as you make the perilous ascent. Just over 30 feet above the base, you begin to move laterally across the foot of the statue in search for a nook of crevice that allow you to pull yourself higher. Struggling to maintain your grip, you claw your way higher, resisting the nagging urge. Yes, almost 50 feet. We're tired. Okay, next. Almost 60 feet. Next. It's 150. We're halfway there. Looking up without daring to look down, you estimate you're halfway up the monument, perhaps close to 80 feet above its base. Calculations is not. There's little to ease your mind, hoping that your fingers hold out. You seek your next handhold while pausing to catch your breath and ease the burn in your muscles. I mean, shouldn't I be allowed to be used gating for this? A quick upward glance reveals that you're nearing the neck and shoulder region of the statue, but the observation seems to only increase your tension. Noticing the odd precipitous angles of the sculpted stone provide you with any safe spot on which to rest. You pause, press on, cursing your breath as your hands scour the smooth surface for the next hold. Pull your way higher. Having just surpassed what you surmise is a 100-foot mark of the climb, you cannot but smile when you consider the reaction of anyone who might, at this very moment, be witnessing your daring ascent. Your amusement is short-lived, however, as you promptly refocus on tasking ahead. A task that requires your full attention. Yeah, we higher. Aiming yourself around the base of the statue's neck, looking for a way to pull yourself up and onto the side of the head, you risk a downward glance. From your height, you make out only the vaguest details of the monument's base and the ground far below. Bowing to not again look down until you reach the top, you resume your climb. Called higher. Gasping and sweat streaming down your face, you look up and realize you're just a few feet of the top of the statue's head. I mean, you should have been able to rest on the shoulders, right? Taking care to not look at your elation and temper your diligence, you return to concentrating on the task immediately at hand, the safe completion of the last dozen feet of your climb. Bathed in sweat, your limbs aching, you hold yourself over the angled edge of the statue's head and come to rest atop Silavina's monument. After laying on your back for nearly a minute and staring up at the sky as you recover from the arduous climb, you return to your feet and survey the impressive view afforded you by the lofty vantage. From the perch atop the statue's head, just over 100 feet above the ground, you can see over a dozen miles in all directions. A colourful landscape mosaic stretches to the horizon, forging scenes of true beauty. It both inspires and exhilarates. Far below, a thick bank of grey fog rolls across the dark surface of Winterire Lake. At the edge of the lake, in a broad, forested hollow, you can just make out an angular roof of the Lakeshore Tavern. As you really make your way around the statue's broad head, taking care not to place your foot too close to the edge, you peer down at the realm that seems more peaceful than you have ever known it. Suddenly, altered by a movement to your left, you whip your head in the direction of some tall man clad in a green tunic and a grey cape standing only a few feet away. A wide-brimmed leather hat covers his head and casting a deep shadow that largely obscures his slender face. Still climbing these things, he said, shaking his head. I'd hoped that someone would have dissuaded you from it by now. Well, I know if one of them might do it, but that's a rather grim thing to say. I apologize for having said it. Yeah, you should apologize. The stranger tosses you a small leather cloth pouch that you've discovered contains a tiny raven bone cube. Keep that safe, not the pouch, mind you, the cube. If you manage to collect enough of these, something quite extraordinary will result from it. You immediately inquire about something quite extraordinary, but the man shrugs in response. I don't know any more about it. I suppose that would be because no one has yet collected enough of these cubes. You're on your way with them, though. Yay, I am. The stranger waves his hand, and a glowing blue glyph in the form of a griffin silhouette appears directly front of your feet. I think you already know, but that will get you back down in the safest possible manner. Can't always be around, mind you. Well, that will be it. Take care of yourself. No particular reason to linger here. You bid the stranger farewell and step onto the glyph. A dazzling flash of blue light erupts from the glyph as you step on into it, causing you to instinctively close your eyes to protect the brilliant intensity of the glow. Only a split second later, when your eyes spring open, you discover that you're once again standing on the ground next to the base of the monument. Nice. Alright, let's go to the tavern. As you draw on to the front doors, you suddenly become aware of a figure lurking in the trees just to the right of the tavern. The figure steps clearly into view and is revealed to be a middle-aged woman clad in what appears to be a silvery suit of thin-scale armour. A raised triangular piece of metal into which is set a sparkling blue stone is affixed to the armour's breastplate. The woman, her face lined with concern, beckons for you to approach. With curiosity momently outweighing the natural cautious tendencies, you rarely make your way over to her. What do you want? You see, I'm going to get a drink. When you're within a few feet of the woman, she smiles, though her expression seems awkward and forms a triangle sign with her hands. Like this. She then places her right index and middle fingers on the sparkling blue stone set in her breastplate and speaks in a hushed tone. You can help me, she says, her agitation evident in her voice. Is this Kathosi? Are you Kretariak? The odd question catches you off guard. You never heard of either name she just mentioned. You respond in the negative to both inquiries. She again forms triangular with her hands and nods. Then this must be the place known as Sryth. Yeah, she says, placing two fingers back on the blue stone. I fear this would happen. I'm in the wrong place. I'm here too early, perhaps too late. I can no longer be certain. Early or late for what? Keeping your fingers pressed against the blue stone, she begins speaking rapidly until she nearly runs out of breath, telling you a wild tale about the travel out of time through a strange, bewildering dimension which you discern to be the Neverness, in desperate quest to deliver something of great importance to someone in a world known as Carthusia. My travels have again been thwarted, she says, bitter edge to her voice. The timeless one sees all, even if not with his own eyes. He bends what he cannot break and winds back what he cannot outright change. He's forever, for time observes him not. I should have known better than to think I had him fooled. For a brief moment, her fingers slip off the stone and her words immediately twist into an unintelligible garble of sound. She quickly replaces them and her speech again becomes clear to you, though its cadence seems slightly skewed. I'm running out of time, she says. Please, I must go. You need to forget that you've seen me, and I'm sorry for any trouble. Please turn away. I need to go, and you must not watch. Okay. You put forth a slew of questions to the woman, desiring to know more about all that she's revealed, but she removes her finger from the blue stone and turns away. Suddenly she turns back, reaches out, grasping your left hand. She gently turns your hand over, presses your palm, a small, thin square of silver. Keep this with you, she says, pressing her finger into the blue stone set into her armor. I've just learned that you to have it. It is at present quite meaningless, but it will all at once be everything. We will meet again, but neither of us will remember this meeting. The peace I've just given you will unfailingly serve to remind us. You may now observe my departure. It no longer matters. She removes her finger from the stone and then takes several steps back. Standing several yards away, the woman forms a triangle with her hands beneath her chin, closes her eyes. Almost instantly, a blinding column of silver light erupts from the ground at her feet and streaks into the sky in a dazzling glow, completely obscuring her form. A split second later, the light abruptly vanishes and there is no longer any sign of. Can't seem to recall who or what just disappeared. But I do. You know, this sort of thing always reminds me of the never-ending story. Like, where Bastion is reading a book, and we're reading a book about Bastion reading a book. So it's like, you may not remember this story, but I remember. Because I'm reading this story about you not remembering. A sudden jolt brings your thoughts back to focus, though you can't seem to figure out why it is you're standing amidst the trees on the side of the tavern. Something tells you that all is not right, and never again will be so. But it's nothing you seem capable of bringing to mind. Bewildered and somewhat alarmed by the suspected lapse in your memory, you turn and slowly make your way back to the tavern's front door. Pausing before the tall, reinforced maple slab, you glance back in the direction from which you've just come for several long moments, before pushing open the door and stepping inside. Hey, the scent of freshly brewed Palo! The soothing murmur of mingled conversation and the crisp crackle of a well-tended fire permeates the main hall of the Lakeshore Tavern. The hall, a cavernous chamber of soaring beams and intricate stonework, is dominated at one end by a large fire flanked by long wooden benches. Numerous small tables are scattered throughout the space, each surrounded by plush, inviting armchairs. A large painting hangs above the fireplace, and at the far end of the hall, a towering window looks out over a lush garden of flowers and sprawling frigid deep of the Winter Eye Lake. The tavern keeper, an affable woman named Elnora, oversees the lake shore in the absence of Silavina, the establishment's celebrated owner. Alright, we'll go one by one. Hit the fireplace. The fireplace situated at the far end of the hall opposite the window that overlooks the lake is an imposing piece of stonework, around which are scattered several tables and chairs. Centered above the ornate mahogany mantel is a large painting that depicts Winter Eye Lake and the sprawling forest that run up its shimmering edges. The blaze within the fire dances wildly, its bed of glowing coals radiating of gentle permeating warmth. Relax. Occupying a table near the fireplace, you settle in and take in the sights and the sounds of the crowded tavern hall while relaxing. You overhear multiple conversations and note several interesting interactions. Through the overall importance of the observation seems dubious. One more time. What's happening? A moth flutters past your face and swiftly rises until it disappears among the rafters overhead. Alright, what's this now? You suddenly glance down and spot something lying on the floor at the foot of your chair. A closer examination reveals the something to be a stack of 3 adventure tokens, which you promptly acquire. How the valuable currency got there is certainly puzzling. You're sure it wasn't there just a moment ago. You immediately gaze around at your surroundings but notice nothing you would deem suspicious. Move away. I want to examine the painting. You draw a chair up to the edge of the fireplace and climb on it to get an up-close view of the large painting. The painting is an exceptional work of art that perfectly captures the colours and contours of the lake and the rugged beauty of the surrounding wilds. Small S is etched into the lower right corner of the picture, perhaps indicating a clue the artist responsible for the masterpiece. Is it Silavina? Silavina? Though you've yet to have it confirmed, you've rumours suggesting the tavern's owner, the famed adventurer Silavina, is the creator of the painting. You note with no small degree of curiosity a long, dark shadow struck beneath the surface of the lake on the right side of the piece. While studying the painting, you notice the massive work of art is hanging slightly askew. Gripping the painting by the lower corners of the massive frame, you very carefully adjust it until it's hanging perfectly straight. What now? Suddenly, a small scrap of paper slips out from behind the painting and floats down to land at your feet. You pick up the paper and note that the cracked yellow piece bears a curious gesture that appears to depict a crab's claw enclosed in a triangle. The word Zarathmore is scrawled beneath the ink symbol. The realm of Zarathmore is a bleak world of colliding realities buried deep within the Neverness on the perpetually spinning arm of the quasi-reality known as Shadowfold. It is here, amidst Zarathmore's vast sun-poisoned expanse, that the mighty Zarathruk Timebender maintains his interminable and tyrannical reign. Zarathmore is a realm of contradicting realities and shocking implausibility. Time within Zarathmore, due to both its location within the Shadowfold and the powers of its omnipotent despot, ebbs and flows in strange and unpredictable ways, often subverting natural law and defying reason. Most of the sentient denizens of Zarathmore are grouped into clans either by species or proximity, with some clans allying to form larger, more robust confederations. As in the case with nearly all realities that make up Shadowfold, entering Zarathmore can only be accomplished via a dream conduit. The very concept of dream conduit, corridor to another world's dimensions realities that manifests itself in dreams, something the very wise have long debated, with a relatively equal number of prominent personages supporting and rejecting the notion. The dream conduit, if it exists at all, said to take form inside the dreams of one whose existence is split among one of the more worlds, dimensions, and realities. A dream is able via the conduit to travel to and from the world of their actual material existence at times, placed in realities where their existence, while not always entirely material, is nonetheless entirely real. It is often the case that events that take place in realities outside the dream's actual material existence are either only vaguely remembered or forgotten altogether. There's also memories that must always recover when the dream is actually in the reality in which the memory was forged. The realm of Zarathmore is an example of a reality that is, as far as anyone knows, accessible only via a dream conduit. The dream gate is a dream conduit, also referred to both by those who claim to have visited Zarathmore and the various Zarathmorian denizens. That is, of course, if the dream conduit even exists. Interesting. Before you can turn the paper over to look at the opposite side, the brittle scrap crumbles into dust in your hands, its countless particles drifting down to the floor. Still wondering about the paper and its possible significance, you prepare to climb down off the chair. Suddenly, without warning, the chair upon which you perch begins to wobble, and two of its spinning legs turn and come loose. You struggle to keep your balance as the chair starts to buckle. Oh, shadow magic. I never get to use it. Oh, of course you failed. The chair suddenly crumbles beneath you, sending you crashing to the floor and landing atop a heap of splintered wood. So patience runs over to help you to your feet as the shadow remnants of the chair hurled into the fire. I always take care when up on a chair, says the older woman looking at you. Mind yourself now. You thank them, grateful for their aid, but hopeful that not too many of the gathered in the tavern's hall took notice of the mishap. Alright, let's leave. Let's go and order some food. Wow, so many options. Let's order some stew. The surprise stew is served in an earthenware bowl and topped with shaved white and yellow cheese. 2 wedges of hard bread accompanying the interesting concoction, the ingredients of which are never revealed. Despite your initial reluctance to consume the thick meat-laden broth, you find the stew to be of excellent flavour and quite filling. An aftertaste reminiscent of onions are not quite the same things on your tongue for some time following the meal. Okay, can I just order everything? The soothing song Palo indeed proves worthy its colourful moniker. Served in heavy engraved earthenware mugs, the Palo is thick, black, soothingly warm, and amazingly delicious. Weariness and chill melt away within moments of you taking your first sips of the exceptional beverage. The roasted nut flavour seems more robust, though not at all bitter in this special Palo. Alright, you can't just order stuff all day. Let's talk to the tavern keep. Eleanor Whitemell, who Rosalie is in the streets of Sryth ran her afoul of law and saw her gold for the better part of 2 long years, is younger than her weathered features and rasping voice suggest. The fair-haired, affable woman, rumoured to be a pickpocket of extraordinary ability, oversees all operational details of the tavern, answering directly to the Lake Shore's owner, the famous adventurer Silavina. After a minute or two, you find Elnora inspecting the cleanliness of several bowls and tankards. She turns and greets you with a smile and probably asks if there's something you need. Let's. While conversing with Elnora, you learn that she's growing concerned about the general safety of the region around Winter Isle Lake and often hears tales of travellers that confirm her misgivings. It's not just around here, either, she says, running her fingers through her tangled hair, but the whole kingdom, if you follow. Sure, the roads around Talinas and Tritic may be safe enough for most, but they're precious little thought spare for us folk out inside of such places. Our concerns don't reach the right ears, and that's a fact. Even if they did, would anyone listen? You speak with Elnora at length, covering a wide variety of topics before ultimately excusing yourself so the busy tavern king can return to her work. Pleasure having you here. You will follow your strap about. Thank you. Let's talk about Silavina. Eleanor tells you that Silavina hasn't been around the tavern much lately, though she does stop in from time to time to check upon the sailor place. I like to keep up with things, she says, her gaze wandering the hall. It's so easy for all this to get out of hand, if you know what I mean. Anyway, things to be done, no into it, but this keeps me out of trouble mostly, and too much respect for our good landlord to let it all go to slack. That won't happen as long as I'm about. Alright. What else we got? You discover that the door set in the length of the wall that just out of the rest stands at the top of a steep stair leading down into the tavern cellar. As you stand before the narrow opening, you suddenly spot a large rat scurrying along the foot of the nearby wall. The black-haired creature darts through the ajar door and down the steps, swiftly vanishing into the musty gloom. Almost instinctively, you close the door, making certain it remains shut before turning and moving away. Flick tap. What is flick tap? Let's try it. If you haven't played a game of flick tap, seek an opponent and give it a go. Flick tap, or the Queen's Rush, is, as it's known in many localities, is a popular game played in taverns, alehouses, and palo dens throughout the North Broadlands. Here at Lakeshore Tavern, the game is something of an institution, with bouts of flick tap often inspiring heated rivalries and in some rare cases inappropriate conduct. The polished wood slab atop atop which the game is played is the only very rarely not in use. Seeking to earn a reputation of one of the best flick tap players around, you glance around the crowded tavern for likely and most worthy opponent. I don't even know how to play. How do you play? If you hear thunder and rain, it's because that's what's happening. Play! And then I pressed it. Thank you. Takes us a minute for you to locate an eager opponent, and you quickly find yourself seated across the polished wooden slab with a middle-aged woman who exhibits high-level skill at the game. Your opponent quickly collects a 7-stone disc and taps 7 times in the slab with a hand, indicating that she's ready to begin. In keeping with the long-established tradition of flick tap, both you and your opponent hold up your right hand, wrap 7 times against the polished slab on your left. A murmur runs through the onlookers gathered at the edge of the flick tap slab as you lower your hands and the contest gets underway. Simultaneously flicking from opposing sides of the divided wood slab, you and your opponent attempt to bounce your stone disc off the raised edge, hoping that to have them land between 2 black lines emblazoned across the center of the stick playing surface. Oh man! You flick your disc back. You flick this back off the slab's raised edge and comes to rest only partially between the marked lines. Nice try. Your opponent's disc bounces off the raised edge and comes to rest only partially between the marked lines. Okay. Next. You flicked this caroms off the slab's raised edge and comes to rest almost exactly to the marked line, scoring you 37 points. Great flick. Your opponent glances off the raised edge and comes to rest far outside the marked line, scoring a 7. Next. Oh no, I only got 18, she got 29. Alright. Okay, I'm ahead. Scrolling. Oh, we got 55 this time, but she got 51. Alright, let's see what it is. Yeah. 676. How did I get 676? Final bout. She's trying to catch up. Last one. Oh, it's so close. I win though. You've been defeated by a score of 302. What? Okay, fine. I didn't win. Alright, well, we've fully explored this tavern, I think. So I'm going to end the episode there, and we're going to continue on looking for more adventure in the next one. Thank you so much for joining me, and until next time, you know what I'm going to say. Peace. Peace.